we said, you mentioned that government shutdown. There are a lot of departments that are closed because of the government shutdown. However, ICE is not closed, and federal troops are not closed, and the
The
feds
military and the naval forces are still working.
are in Memphis. And I want to play this clip of Stephen Miller in Memphis last night.
To the Memphis Police Department, to the officers that I see sitting in front of me, we are about to provide you with a level of support you cannot even imagine. This isn't just a task force. This is a all of government unlimited support operation. ATF, DEA, FBI, ICE, Department of War, every resource we have. And they're not going to be sitting behind a desk at a keyboard. We are sending in real cops with guns and badges to go out with you on the street every single night making arrests. These are people who have taken down drug cartels, kingpins, the worst criminal offenders in the United States, standing with you shoulder to shoulder to shoulder. All we ask from you is to show up at roll call every single night with your brothers and sisters in the federal government and to go out and get the criminals off the street. And if you do that, I pledge to you, we will liberate this city from the criminal element that has plagued it for generations. This is not just a strategy shift. This is an attitude shift. We are not going to live in an environment anywhere where there is a street that belongs to a criminal, where there is a neighborhood that belongs to a gang, where there is any physical space anywhere that belongs to anyone other than the law-abiding citizens and families of Memphis. The idea that there is a square inch of block in this city where a citizen doesn't feel safe is unacceptable. This is Memphis. This is the United States of America, and all that bullshit is done. It's over. It's finished.
Now, follow on. When these guys left, the local yokels had a little after meeting. They said, oh, we don't have to pay attention to that. But you notice he said he's going to rid the city of crime. And I suspect some of the people sitting behind the desk in City Hall who are on the clown council or the mayor's staff, some of the court, clerks that we have, the elected clerks, they're going to wind up looking at some time. See, about 20 years ago, we had what was known as the Tennessee Waltz, where it was a sting operation, and it was conducted all over the state. They wound up with several dozen people from around the state that wound up doing federal time. Particularly heavy was the hall in Memphis. So right now, the way things are standing, since Memphis is the only Democratic enclave in the whole state, outside of a little bunch up in Nashville, they need to have a Memphis boogie so they can round up a whole bunch from Chief Slow Down Memphis Do Nothing Davis, who got fired in Atlanta, about to be fired in Raleigh, Durham, got hired here to direct the police department, which she can't do. Mayor Urkel, who looks like the sitcom character, and Tammy Sawyer running one of the clerk's offices and the clown council. We've got a lot of suspects that need to be looked at. And I suspect Bill Lee, the Republican governor of the state who provided $100 million in funds to Memphis, put a trap in, because I imagine that there are some federal funds in that, and that would give the feds the license, so to speak, to come stick their noses in and pay careful attention to the federal funds that have been dispersed to Memphis and what's happening with them. It might be fun practicing law these days in terms of the interesting clientele you'd pick up. Now, this is the state police. I talked with some of them, several of them at a time, last week, and they got brought in thanks to the state government, which is also considering taking over the local board of education for incompetence.
Mm-hmm.
Just yesterday, it was announced that they refused to okay the budget from Shelby County because of deficiencies. And there's too much criminality going on, and a lot of people that have grown up with the idea that it's okay. Now,
I want to play this clip real quick.
yeah, okay, go ahead.
FBI. It's been an alphabet soup of law enforcement as we've seen them get ready and go out and make runs throughout the day. We know more than 50 arrests were made just last night, 20 guns taken off the street in the last 48 hours. You see people like this who behind me with this sign. He has it on both sides. If you can flip it around and show what he's saying, he's hoping that this action by Trump will help make the city safer. Take a listen to a man that we talked to in a neighborhood that basically says he welcomes the idea of this federal action.
Is that I talked to some of the state troopers, and Tammy Sawyer, who is the General Sessions Court clerk where the felony prelims and the misdemeanors are set, has been trying to say that she's getting her dockets loaded up with traffic arrests. They're saying, no, that's not the case. We have readers that can read the license plates, and the license plates are associated with names. And when we run the names, we find that there are warrants outstanding that have been pending 10 years, 15, 20, in some cases 25 years, where Memphis police and the sheriff's department haven't served those long-standing warrants, and they're not just for traffic matters. So they've been pulling people over, and I'll say this, the streets are noticeably quieter in the last few days than they've been in a long, long time. Of course, that may be due to the fact that we've had, I know on 1.5 mile stretch of a certain big centrally located street in Memphis, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 12, 15 major pretty good restaurants have closed down because of high crime. And there are practically no clubs to go to in the city because they've all closed. And nobody wants to be out past 9 o'clock at night, except maybe to a couple of long-standing pubs where you can sit down and eat and drink, and that's about it because of the crimes. People are tired of having their cars broken into. People are tired of all of the squad cars in Memphis being on Beale Street, 35 and 40 at a time. So the handful of tourists that still come can go have a good time, and everybody else in the city is very reticent about going out and getting gas at a gas station or going out late to go to a grocery store. Many of them have closed down due to criminal activity. I mean, it's very bad.
Yeah, and I'm curious, after at least 30 days to see how drastic the crime stats will drop in Memphis with the presence of the federal agents. I want to move to Chicago.
And by the way, I've had some conversation with some of my current colleagues on the court benches, and I've told them in no nice terms, you guys and gals better get on your job and stop worrying about getting home to dinner before you're going to have to find another way to pay for it. You better do something about ensuring that you have a mechanism in place to set adequate bonds for some of these people. You better push to put pretrial release back in business so they can do an assessment of the people that got arrested and make recommendations for reasonable bonds. This has gotten so it stinks. This place is filthy. Although the mayor admits that once the National Guard gets here, which it is now, he made sure that the visitors, the press, wouldn't see a filthy, trash-ridden, overgrown city. So he's been having some of the few grass cutting and cleaning devices that we have left put to some use on a rush basis. I've said, you guys and gals need to take some of these people that are on community service, put them with those lime yellow vests and get them to clean these freeways up. And this dingbat we've got for a chief of police needs to do something besides having all these signs up. Slow down Memphis. Hell, it's slow enough as it is. It needs to develop faster. We've got a crime problem, and your focus is on slow down Memphis, where every mile you see one of the, what is it, the signs they have about that girl got kidnapped years ago. What do they call them? Slow down Memphis. That's not the problem. It's a crime problem. So what are you doing about it?